morning, guys. Happy New Year to you. 2026. 2025 is in the past. We are moving towards the future, and it is early morning here, about 9 o'clock. I guess that's not early morning compared to what I'm used to, but it is a day off, and I'm looking to make something I've never done before that I just created this morning in my head. I don't know if it was a dream or what, but we're going to try to make something, and I'm going to share it with you guys because it sounds tasty, it sounds unique, and I'm just hungry for something a little different for lunch, but it takes a little morning prep, so let's do this. All right, we have got the KitchenAid mixer plugged in. It is ready to go. We are hanging out at the house, and we're going to try something a little different for you guys today. I am in the mood for something unique, something I've never had or made before, and I'm going to try to make something that looks like a cinnamon roll in looks and texture, but filled with something with a little bit of heat and a little cheese. So with that being said, I'm going to try to make a chili crisp cheesy bomb. I don't know if that's the working title. I mean, I don't know if that's what we need to go with here for the video because it's never been made in the history that I've seen on YouTube. It's just, it's new. It's new. So chili crisp cheddar bomb, something you might see at a bar one day. I don't know, but needless to say, there's a few reasons why I'm doing this. The first reason is it's the new year. Happy 2026. It's time to try some new things. Does it sound very hipstery? Yeah, but who cares? Another reason is this. I've got snow everywhere that I don't want to go outside and be in, so we're not doing any type of food video where I venture out. That's right, shot from my back deck, and now my sock is wet because I stepped on the floor from taking garbage out earlier. And yeah, so give me a moment and we'll get back to this.
Is she gonna be okay?
Wouldn't know. Never been hungover. After I've had too much whiskey, I cook myself a large flank steak, pan-fried in salted butter. I eat that, put on a pair of wet socks, and go to sleep.
That works?
It does.
Another reason is a while back at my employer, we were trying to come up with new products for our food business. And I pitched chili crisp. If you're not familiar with what it is, it's a tasty little condiment that goes good with Asian food. And I put it on almost everything. It's delicious. It's good on chicken, it's good on pork, it's good on beef, it's good in ramen. It's wonderful. It's a blend of just chilies and oil that will make any of your palates pop a little bit more with a little bit of extra heat, but not enough to just knock you completely on the ground. We decided not to go with that as a product for our specific company where I work. So I've got a stockpile of chili crisp, which you just saw, sitting in my cupboard because I got to go and take all of the demo stuff home. You can't make this just with chili crisp alone. We need some flour. You can use AP, I'm going with bread. Now you could use water, but I've got some extra chicken broth I'm going to use, the GB in the house. So we're going to attempt this and see what happens. Just going to improv it. And it's a lazy little day for me. I'm still in my chill out jammy clothes, little sweatshirt, and you get to deal with my uncombed hair, which is not a first on this channel, but oh yeah, it's giving Mark Hoppus vibes now. Hashtag Blink-182, best band ever. A little packet of fast rising yeast, instant yeast, here we go. Guys, I'm using my hand and tripod and a camera, so I can't just make cool flingity-flingities for everything. So here's some sugar. And we got some salt here. Now we are going to need oil, and when you're making bread and pizza dough and things like that, it would normally call for olive oil as well, but we're going to try something a little different here. Chili crisp is just sitting in a bunch of oil here, and I'm going to use it instead of olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, just to give it that chili crisp flavor. This stuff looks so good, and you guys don't even know the smell of it right now. It smells so wonderful. All right, chicken broth, 3/4 cup. We're looking at 115, which is perfect because you want it to be between 105 and 115. Just toss it in the microwave, it's fine. Chef Mike will do the work for you. We're tossing that in. Let that hang out. Next, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of our oil here. If we can, we might have to cut it with some olive oil. We'll see. few chilies did escape in. I'm not too worried about it, but that's 1 tablespoon, and we're going with 2. Again, I'm not too worried if a few loose chilies got in there. It's gonna just add flavor. Yeah, I'm not too terribly worried. Opening the pack was insanely hard in trying to film. So here's the yeast. 1 tablespoon of sugar for sweetness and to let that yeast feed. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're gonna let this mix together and bloom a little bit. Ideally, I just, before I put the flour in, I want this to kind of incorporate together a little bit and let that yeast wake up. Looks pretty weird right now though, I'm not gonna lie, with the red. Not used to that. Looking like something that might have came out of Stranger Things, like Vecna. By the way, what'd you guys think of that finale if you watched it? Super, super good show. Sad to see it go, but that's television life. All right, so we're gonna let this bloom for about 10 minutes. All right, this is looking weird. This is definitely looking something Stranger Things like now, with the red and the puffiness. But you want puffiness and blooming from your yeast. But like I said, that red oil is definitely throwing things off. It's very demon possessed. I don't know what that's about, but live and learn. All right, up next we need 2 cups of flour. Again, you could probably use AP. I just happen to have some bread flour from when my wife was doing sourdough. And yeah, we're gonna measure it up. Also not sponsored, but if you guys, invest in one of these. Invest in a thermometer. You're gonna need it for when you're cooking, baking, things like that. Just always get a thermometer and have it around the house. 1. Trying to make it look a little more normal. We'll see how this looks. And 2. Let me tell you, with the chicken broth and the chili crisp, the smells, the aromatics are so chef's kiss. Lock her in. Let's make this a shaggy dough on a low speed. After the first minute, we're going to kick it up a little bit, try to get that all incorporated. We're going to do this for about 5 minutes. I did take a rubber spatula and scoop down the sides after about 3 minutes here. So what we're going to do is let this go. I've got a timer set for 5 minutes. We want this to be very shaggy and very rough so we can knead it. It's looking very terry, very rippy at the moment. But I think it's just because we're not dealing with regular old olive oil. We're doing infused chili oil. So the dough is looking a little dry. We're going to add a tablespoon of chicken broth cold, just to hydrate it a little bit so we can work it when we knead it with our hands. All right. It's looking a little wetter, which is good because I'm going to knead it in some dry flour. I just need it to be a little more on the shaggy side, but very wet right now, very wet. All right, I'm gonna scatter some flour on here, get it all ready to knead. All right, I'm going to do this with both hands, but I'm just showing you guys. We're gonna knead it, get it nice and dry. That was about an extra 1, maybe 2 tablespoons of chicken stock just to bring it all together. But I've got to ball this thing up, you guys. Look, it's already starting to take shape, but I need to ball this up. That's just chili pepper right there. You can keep it in there, flip it off. Like I said, flick it off, not flip it off. No, you don't want to give it the bird. But needless to say, we're going to let this, we're going to get this fully kneaded, and then we're going to let it sit. The option of putting it back in the bowl and covering it with a nice wet towel over top, or saran wrap, or just doing it on the table with a wet cloth, which is what I'm going to do for about an hour. Mostly so I can clean things up and get that mixing bowl and the mixer and everything put away. I'll show you though, it's nice and smooth, looking good. We just need to let it firm up and let that gluten relax and let the yeast do what it needs to do. All right, it has been an hour. It has not really rised very much, but it has relaxed to the point where I think we will be able to roll it out. It feels very, not so loosey-goosey, but not too firm either. So, all right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get some flour, get it on the table, and we'll get ready to roll this bad boy out into a hopeful rectangle shaped dough. That feels pretty good. I'm going to be breaking out the rolling pin and seeing what happens. We may have to rest this a little longer. I'm just kind of going to go gentle here with it. Trying to get it out to a nice thin consistency. But as I mentioned before, it's something I've never made before, but it's been on my mind. I thought it would be a very good savory, heat-filled dish that would be good to snack on. You can definitely see some chili flaking from the oil earlier. Again, we're going to spread more on that, but I wanted to get it onto the dough. Well, I guess I didn't really, we'll get that onto the dough, but I didn't want to necessarily get it into the mix of the dough, but I wanted to use that oil. And I'll put a recipe in the description if this actually ends up being something that could work out. Yeah, you'll notice right here, like see the chilliness right there. Don't even know if the camera's getting it. Yeah, like it's on there. But it's spreading out pretty good. I just want it nice and thin. Alright, I think that's going to be as good as it gets. It is not going to be very rectangular, but that's alright, it'll roll. And I was trying to make sure it was even as far as getting it thin all the way around. You want it to kind of, not be so thick that it's just a big glob of bread in your mouth, but you don't want it to be too thin where it's tearing. I think I've figured it out, but just, do it as desired. Let's get the filling. All right. So, we got the tasty chili crisp ready to go. And we're just going to do some dollops. I did take a lot of that oil, so it is what it is. We may have to take some oil and put it on here, but we'll just see how it goes after we get it spread around. Along with a thermometer, I highly recommend everybody buys a box of disposable gloves for the kitchen. I think it's a need. I think it's something that everybody should do if they're serious about cooking in their home. If you're not, no worries. Nothing against you. I'm glad you guys still stopped by. Hopefully this gives you a little inspiration to go out and do some more cooking at home though. But again, it's just something all in good fun. This is turning out to be very well now with the glove. The spoon, it does help, but I'm thinking I like the glove method a little bit more. It's spreading out nice and even. I don't have to worry about adding any excess oil. This is going to be just fine. I was just more worried about it spreading. But man, this smells so good. Got some mild cheddar left over, and it's probably about a half a cup to a cup worth. I'm just going to spread it all on. You can use sharp cheddar. You can use any cheese you really want. I just went with this because it's what I had on hand. But I think it'll be pretty good. Just going to try to get it all over the dough here and make that look nice and even. Hope it looks even on your end. Just dump that whole bag. It's probably about a half a cup. Yeah, I'd say I didn't measure. Sometimes when you're cooking and baking, it's more fun. Baking, I know you need to measure more, but for the filling, I'm not too worried about it as I would be for the dough. All right, the next step is we're going to roll these bad boys up. And I put on an extra glove. Try to make it nice and tight. Lock it in. But Roll it gently at the same time. Losing some of that chili out the side, but I'm not too worried about that. I just want it to be nice and tight. And if you have to pull on the dough a little bit, that's fine. Just don't tear it. Use your best judgment. And roll it up. This is pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie, this is unique and different. Smells wonderful. All right, so what I'm gonna do next now is I'm gonna grab my bench scraper here. This is good for dough, working with pizza dough and things like that. You'll see these in most pizza shops. They might have metal ones. If you don't have one of these, you can just put it on a cutting board and cut them with a knife. Let's get these trayed up and proofing a little bit more. I've got these cut up, and they're not perfect by any means, but I just wanted to make like 5 or 6 of them here. So we're gonna get these panned up now, get them ready to go in the oven. All right, so I took a parchment paper and a baking pan and took my fingers and made sure these were kind of closed up for the most part. When they bake, they should, come together. But I wanted to push them down a little bit to look more cinnamon roll-ish like. Cinnamon trolling, if you will. And basically, decided to try to keep them in a pan, kind of push together. That way when they bake, they stick together like hot sticky buns, cinnamon rolls like they do. I did end up getting like an uneven number, but that's all right. Got this little nugget here. That'll be my tester for you guys once these get done baking. That's the one I'll have. Hopefully these will be really good, but I'm going to set the oven. Past cinnamon roll experience, I'm going to say 375 is what we'll set the oven to, and we'll go for about 20 to 25 minutes and see where that's at. I'll let you guys know exactly how many minutes in the description. And of course, once they're all done here.
Few moments later.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Look at this. It broke apart a little bit on this one. It's loose. But oh my goodness. Would you look at that? Ow, that's hot. Ooh. Look at that. Oh, it's soft and firm at the same time. Oh my goodness gracious. No way, even the little guy, this little Burger King Cine Mini. Whew, that's hot. Take a little olive oil, hit them just a little bit on the top. My goodness, let that sit down there. Ooh, look at that, look at that. Transfer these to a wire rack. Drip pan, wire rack. They did come loose, on some of them. But my goodness, look at that. You've got the nice color coming from the chili oil, the chili flakes. I just did it with a little bit more oil just to liven up the sides a little bit. It's gonna be stuffed with cheese, that bottom with a nice crisp. Oh, I cannot wait to eat one of these, but they are just so darn hot. So darn hot. Ooh. All right, we've had a few minutes to let them cool. My little one-handed knife cut. See what we got going on. Oh yeah, it's baked all the way through. You've got your chili crisp. I'd say it probably needs a little more cheese, unless it's more tucked. I guess it's tucked down in here a little bit, but more cheese. But let's try them to make sure. Again, I've never made these before, but they smell wonderful. Mmm. Whew, a little bit of heat, but not overwhelming. The cheese is there. I would think maybe a little bit more, so when you're doing this and trying it, I only had what I had, on hand, so that was probably about a half a cup. I'm a cheese guy, so I'd probably do, cup. Again, I'll probably take some cheese cubes, throw one A little bit on top, microwave it, oven it, air fryer it, something like that. Just you want to go to eat another one of these and be set. But otherwise, this was a fun experiment. This tastes wonderful. It's definitely a play on cinnamon rolls I never thought I would ever do. Clock on the stove says it's noon, so that means it's lunchtime and I am hungry. I'm going to have a couple of these. I'm going to show these to my wife when she gets home from work. But I think we're going to wrap up the video. Catch you on the next one.